a gentleman in front of me there with the black bag. He's got the Led Zeppelin shirt on with the wings. You know, whatever, that's interesting. But I saw another guy with the same shirt less than 20 minutes ago when I first left my house. Maybe I'm looking for it, but I don't know. And yeah, it's a popular shirt, but it's that image that keeps popping up. And yeah, there's that thing where if you're looking for something, right, it's gonna show up. You know, you're gonna see it. But that's pretty weird. I don't know. I thought it was something to take note of. Another thing too, man, and I'm the last guy who should talk about personal aesthetics. I mean, there's nothing sadder than an old goth guy. Well, I'm gonna say goth punk. Less Cure, more the birthday party. But I mean, what I'm saying is I have no right to talk about, oh, you're like this kind of money. I have no right to talk about anybody else's aesthetic choices. But one thing, if you were to ask me like 20 years ago what the hairdos of the future would be, I would never have predicted this Zoomer hairdo where they shave the whole head, but they leave the top and they perm it, you know. Thank you, sir. Always sounds great. Yeah, I see this hairdo all day. It's like they shave around. It looks like a Rob Liefeld drawing from like Young Blood, like the Image comics of like the early 90s. It's just like a little poof on the top. It looks like Brussels sprouts, or you look like a carrot or something. It's really weird. I don't know. Do chicks like that? Are Zoomer chicks into that look? Because usually when you're a young guy, most of your aesthetic choices are done to, try to attract females. Whatever kind of female you're going for, whatever kind of look you're going for. You know, if you're like the rock chicks, you wear the metal thing. If you're looking for a cheerleader, you try to tailor yourself to be like a sporto or That's usually, at least from my generation, a lot of what people would base how they dressed and looked on was how good they could get that look over with the opposite sex.
When the parents sing to the baby, because the baby will look at me, then look at the parents and go, hey, that's our song.
That guy's awesome. But, so I look at that hairdo, I'm just like, is that... It looks goofy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not to them, because maybe I'm an old man, so it looks goofy. It's just, it's not, when I think of like I said, like 10, 20 years ago, I said, what are kids of the future? What kind of look are they going to go for? I never imagined it was going to be Rob Liefeld hairstyle. It's just weird. Like, maybe it must work for them. Like there must be. I don't think they can look in the mirror and say that looks cool, because it doesn't. It looks fucked. So it must be something else. Like girls of that age group must be into that. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Yeah, the things to think about on a Saturday night. This is Saturday here, so it's pretty packed here. I can't complain about people on a Saturday night because it's just, it's Saturday. And the island needs a tourism. Shit, they don't produce anything else. Every once in a while you'll see these like Hawaii indigenous reclamation people drive around with their trucks with the flag yelling at people to go home and shit. It's like, dude, if they go home, you're fucked. You know what I mean? Like, you got to really think that one through. But I do agree that there maybe is too much tourism. I think, if possible, they should. Well, it's never going to happen because they want more and more. Because the people that are benefiting from it aren't the people that live here or from here. It's the corporations that have their stuff here. Another large building, right? Been like this since COVID. Actually, it was like that before COVID because we had some possible storms that were coming. I think it got all marked, boarded up before then, but that was a huge tourist center. It was a duty-free place. There's a huge mall in there. And I guess, you know, they can afford to keep it all closed up like this. This is the fortress that I highlighted in a couple of videos. If you go down one of these side roads, that thing I always show, that's part of this building here. This gigantic building. Just sitting there, you know. And again, this is a place where if they have a spot the size of a swing set, they'll develop it. Because, it, you know, you can't really, there's only so much space, you know, they can only build up here, you know. Which isn't really good because most of this land here is wetland. Or it would be considered wetland on the mainland, for sure. If you go up in the mountains a little bit and you look down, you can see the ocean, right? And then Waikiki, like this particular area, is like in a bowl. It's below sea level. Oh, there's one of those dudes I was just talking about. You know, I sympathize with them, man. You know, I do. No one likes to see foreigners roll in and take your land. It's fucked up. And then to push your people down to the lowest rung of the economic ladder and keep them there. And then commercialize their culture. It's horrible. It's humiliating. So I get the anger. But I think the people they want to take it out on, they can't really get to, because those people, they're not going to see. You know, it's not these people out here. These people have nothing to do with it. Telling them to go home is only going to hurt your situation. There's no easy answer to that. And like, what's happened here in Hawaii has happened all over the world. And a lot of times, like, there was a guy in my comments saying, yeah, wherever the Anglo-European goes, they take everything and everyone. It's like, yeah, true. But who's holding the strings on the Anglo-European? Who gives them the money to do this? Who directs them to do this? The central banks. Well, who runs the central banks? You know, when a lot of shit blamed on white people, which these days is everything, really has nothing to do with white people. It has to do with other white-skinned people that are not white people. And but people can't really dig that deep. They don't want to dig that deep. It's too much work, and it raises too many questions, and there's too much pushback there, you know. So, whatever. But yeah, I do sympathize with the thing about the indigenous Hawaiians who push back against this. And they've done some things over the years, some pretty crazy things. The American Indians would love to do that, but they rounded them up and put them on reservations. They didn't do that to the Hawaiians because it was too hard, too complex, too many resources. But they usually do that. They usually really, because what they do is they see the people of the land they're taking as the conquered. And they have to signal to everyone else that they conquered these people. So they're dehumanized, they're humiliated, they're put on the lowest rung of society. A lot of like what's left of actual real Hawaiians are, a lot of them are living in state-funded housing or in fucking encampments in the fucking woods. It's crazy. But it's not my fault, and it's not these people's fault. Actually, it's not my fault. I'm 100% Irish, both sides, no mixed lineage all the way back. We didn't even know Hawaii existed. So I'm absolving myself of everything. None on me, is what I'm saying. I have nothing to do with it. We have our own problems on our island with our own invaders that are still there, and they'll probably be there forever. It's kind of a similar situation. Kind of a similar situation. And maybe that's where the sympathy comes from. But, you know, riding around in trucks yelling at retirees who spent thousands and thousands of dollars to come here and spend thousands and thousands of dollars to help pay for public housing and things like that that people use to survive, and that's not the way to do it. The sad thing is, there is no way to do it. There's really nothing you can do. There's really nothing you can do. And I know there's a lot of anger there. Of course there is. But I think there's ways to direct that. But the ways to direct that anger is to try... Well, I'm not going to try to tell people what to do. I have my own ideas of how to go against that. But none of it involves aggressing on people or violence or attacking people. So therefore, it's not attractive to people. No one wants to hear that. But you're fighting evil, okay? You're fighting the beast. The beast has the luck on evil. You're not gonna out-aggress this fucking beast. It's a Chinese fucking finger trap. The more you pull against it, the more you're gonna hurt yourself. You got to just kind of release to it. You have to lean into it. And leaning into it doesn't satisfy that aggression itch that people have. So they never do it. And they end up just in this well of hatred that they pass on to their kids. They pass on to their kids. And then I have to carry a weapon everywhere, you know? It's just how it is, man. It's how it is. There is no answer to it. There is no answer. This isn't a dramatic pause as I run out of things to say. I'm going to move along now. Saturday night, Waikiki. Don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.